Oh, wait, what? What's happening?
I'm Jake Schriner.
Oh.
And I'm Bob Nelson.
And I'm Tracey White.
And I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie, and this actually is the Compass Conversation Podcast. Welcome, friends.
Part 2, because we already been talking about
We
will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus.
Wait, oh. Okay, we're good. Cheers.
All right. Well, welcome to the podcast. As is many a Monday, we spend a little time before the podcast, which has been great.
Mm-hmm. Great.
All right. So welcome.
Bye.
Already in progress. It's like we join our broadcast. Currently in progress.
Yes.
All right. To my right, Jake Schriner.
Hi.
Welcome. How are you, man?
Good, thank you, yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. Had a good weekend. Let's see, Saturday had to work Saturday morning, and then Saturday afternoon we just kind of hung out around the house. Sunday was good, went to church, obviously, and then...
Yeah, I heard you went to a church.
We were there. And then Bob and I went and paid for the plot with the garden. Signed.
Whew. I thought you were talking about a grave plot.
We signed the lease. It's in paper. We have a spot. We took pictures. It's ours.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah,
That's
so
great,
I'm gonna
man.
put together a little kind of schedule of stuff that needs to be done before we can really like dig into planting. So just some little maintenance stuff. Maybe we put a fence around it. I was looking up how much those wood planks cost.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe not the wood.
No, we're just gonna.
We're
so
planks
it's
for fences?
no,
Chicken
so
wire?
it's 20 foot by 20 foot, and it's completely like dirt. So we'll need to put maybe every 4 feet. We'll just put a row of like a path, a walking path, so that you can reach everything. You know.
Right.
So we were talking yesterday. It's like, we'll just get some wood planks and maybe just lay them down.
Nope.
Those are so expensive.
So
How about some,
the cheap white cedar is not cheap.
It's not cheap, and it's not white. But
Cedar?
Exclusive. There's a lot of rules to this place. They're very particular because this is part of a heritage farm historic thing. So they want to keep it as friendly to that as possible. So, but what we can do, they have free mulch. So what I was thinking is we're just gonna kind of lay out 2 paths of mulch. They just put a fair amount down so it's like a walking path, and then we'll have our dirt to work with on either side. So and that's free.
Perfect.
Easy. So maybe a short fence around it. We will have to correct one side of the planter because it's pretty bowed. But I am gonna make some steel spikes that have like wings on them, so when you hammer them into the ground, they can't tilt.
Yeah.
So we'll just have those, and then we'll just bolt the plate to those, and then we'll make it good and straighten it out.
Nice.
So.
No idea what you're talking about, but I can't wait.
Yeah.
You'll understand when you see it.
And we'll. So they're gonna email. They'll email me a whole list of guidelines and rules and stuff. Just things they want to follow. There are certain particular places. They don't have like a trash can there, so we have to bring all our trash out with us. You can't throw anything away there.
Okay.
Organic trash. There's a spot where we throw if we are weeding something, or I got an orange peel, banana, whatever.
For compost.
Yeah, there's that, but also just like they keep it outside of the garden area, but not out into the field.
Okay. Yeah, they're on the basically the north side of it. There's just a big fence, and that's all prairie land right on the other side, just natural, I guess, native grass. Yeah, that's how we'll go. And so to keep the grass from coming in, they've got an agreement with the city to go ahead and be able to just basically do a vegetable waste wall.
It's just basically a big compost pile that's up and down the fence.
Cool.
But and everybody that goes will have to sign a waiver. Just a basic liability thing,
If I die here, it's not their fault.
If you hurt yourself because of your own choices, it's not the garden's fault. Yeah, but
the common sense thing.
You're right, exactly. Yeah. So everyone should be okay, I think. We'll put together some schedules, send out all the info to everybody, and then we'll have to have one probably good work day before we do any planting. Probably towards the end of April, maybe early May. We'll pick a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. we'll go out there and just clean up some stuff, try and turn the soil, maybe spread some compost, build a fence, lay the paths down, just some stuff. So
Right.
yeah, so really excited about that, and
Yeah, man.
That's great.
that's my latest passion.
That's fantastic. Thanks again
That's
for
my
joining us
new
at-
project. Yeah.
at Farm Talk here on.
Brighten up every time you see
I love
it.
gardening. So this time of year,
That's great.
especially when you get to start everything, you get to see it grow.
I'm telling you, man, your
work
passion though has been contagious to everybody else too. They're all like, I can't wait to get to
is going to be fun.
get to our farm, our plot.
I will say one just quick funny thing. I did mess up on one of the forms. I had to fill out a second one because at the top of it, it has a garden name. And I'm like, Bob, so we get to name our plot. It's cool, so we'll just call it like Compass Church Garden. Does that work? He goes, yeah, that's great. And then like 30 seconds later, the lady's like, okay, so we're gonna fill these out. So under garden name, you need to put Delaney Community Farms. I'm like, let me just scratch that out here.
You don't own the property? Is that what you're saying?
Do you need a new one? I'm like, yeah, I thought it was so cool. We get to name our own plot. This is awesome. And no,
We could put a sign out.
so I guess they're gonna label it somehow.
Oh, yeah.
So there'll be a little like map when you walk in, or
Yeah.
a sign or something that'll say
Nice.
Compass Church. But
We're kind of central right up front on the front part of it, so.
yeah, we're right off the main path, so we're in the mix
Oh.
with everybody. And
That means it has to turn out pretty well.
Yeah, you're so
right, well, she
pretty
did
well.
say some of the gardens there just are immaculate.
Really?
No kidding.
Yeah, like people
no
put in-
pressure.
Right, I know. Well, the one thing they said was big was keeping the weeds down. So we'll have to be weeding pretty regularly. But if you got there with a few people, it won't take long. And then trimming the area around. So basically, you got your 20 by 20 plot. Everything we're growing needs to stay in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just trimming up like the weeds and just grass around the edges, weed whacker or something.
Can do.
Yeah, easy enough. All right, I've taken up.
It's all right, man. It's good.
Yeah, so the next few months are going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Looking forward to it.
We'll just keep these regular updates, and what we'll have to do is we'll just get you a little corner on Sunday mornings, and we're going to cut to Jake now with the farm update.
Our farm, we wear like a straw.
Hello, friends. You'll
straw
say-
hat over.
Yes, overalls.
You know what? I'd pay your own
At
money
the
to
Compass.
see that.
Community garden.
Yeah, a piece of straw hanging out.
We got to do it at least one day.
Hey, y'all.
All right. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the
When
farm.
I got for our Minions costumes, we got overalls.
That is great. Oh my gosh. Well, very glad you're here, and I enjoyed all of that you just shared with us. Okay. Bob Nelson, how are you, sir? Welcome. How you doing?
I'm much more energetic now. I didn't sleep well last night. It was a very long weekend, very busy. Good weekend. It was a great weekend actually, but yeah, I need more sleep. But yeah, I'm much more energized now. Just hanging out with you guys. It's always the case, isn't it?
That is kind of the truth, isn't it?
So, Joy and I went to a play on Friday night, and then we did, you and I stood up on to Saturday morning, and then I was busy all Saturday, and then Sunday, and then the garden, and then more busyness. Yeah. And then the dog woke me up at 3. The dog. I really got to break her of that.
Well, I love that you enjoy go-to plays. I know that that's part of your history story,
Yeah.
and dating relationship and everything.
Yeah.
And so now Leo and I are thinking, we're going to go to a play now. We've been wanting to go to go downtown and go in Denver and see the symphony or hear the symphony. Just do some different kinds of things, but a play, that would be great.
Yeah.
So, in that realm,
Go to the movies too. I still need to see Spider-Man. But anyway.
yeah, there's that. In that realm, I've actually been on stage at the Buell. I performed at the Buell.
Wow.
What? Can you give us a little of that real quick?
Sort of.
What do you got?
Fly me to the years ago, a friend and I managed to get into the Buell for free. That was even the better part. You didn't have to pay for this.
Well, when you break in.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a musical called Five Guys Named Mo, a hilarious musical. And
What was it about?
about 5 guys named Mo, and they're all in this guy's head.
Aptly named.
It's one of those Herman's heads kind of thing where the Mo is in their head, his head, and he's a musician. They're trying to get him straightened out. But
Try to get his
anyway,
mojo back.
so at intermission, which is where we came in. Sorry,
I see what you do.
I'm a vault.
Never mind. I didn't hear you. I was talking.
That's how you get his mojo back.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
So anyway, at intermission. Yeah, I'm just moving on.
And then,
Just moving on. Anyway, so at the intermission, they do a big conga line, so that conga runs on the stage at the Buell. So.
You do it on Sunday.
Yeah.
Bubble lead.
Yeah, exactly.
Who you'll be leading though are all the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
On the way out, you're like the Pied Piper taking him to the kids area.
We would have to do it every time if we did that.
I love it.
Yep. So, yeah, it was busy. I'm tired, but I'm good.
All right, well, man, glad you're here. Tracey White, we've missed you. We're glad you're back. How are you, man?
I'm running an experiment. How many days can I go with lack of sleep and still survive? So,
How are you doing so far? I meant survive. Wait.
So 6 days and still alive. So there we go.
With little sleep.
Yeah, very, very little sleep. So flew out on Tuesday to go pick up Em and her roommate, Brittany, from New Orleans. We drove back. It was my first time pulling a trailer for that distance.
Wow, yeah.
And I can say I'm very comfortable with it now. I can back it up. I can go forward.
All right.
I can change lanes. And yeah, it was really great. So that trip took a couple of days. But we drove through East Texas, and it was still light when we got through there on Wednesday, and drove through Marshall and
Texas,
Longview, and I was just from the interstate, I'm going, yeah, I want to live here. Nice rolling hills, huge piney wood forest.
Those are my old stomping grounds.
I know it's so beautiful out there. I know it's humid.
It's humid, it's buggy. It's,
I understand that, but I'll trade
a lot of
that
other
for-
things too.
I'll trade that for this. Anyway, it was beautiful out there. And then rolled straight into drill weekend, which was it was a good weekend. Had a good friend retire after 33 years of service.
Wow.
So that's where he'll be next year.
Aha.
And then right on top of that, found out our commander just got reassigned to another post. So next month will be his last drill weekend with us. So
A lot of stuff going on, man.
yeah. And then there was something else I was going to say, and I can't remember what it was. Probably because I'm really, really tired.
Yeah.
How was
Understand
work?
it.
Work is fine. I mean, there's still the stress there, but compared to everything else, that's kind of taking the back burner on the stress stove.
I still feel like a dunderhead totally messing up picking you up for the airport.
Oh, no big deal. No big deal.
Oh, did you miss a call? You miss a...
No, I was supposed to pick him up and take him to the airport because I said I would, and then I missed your text and missed your call, and then I was working downtown. That was the stupid thing is we're back to the office 2 days a week, and
That was an office day. No big deal.
It's like I should have been thinking about that. Obviously, that Saturday we talked about it. I was not thinking about it.
Yeah,
put the reminder on the wrong day on my calendar.
it's all good. So Emily and Brittany are looking for jobs now. Emily put in and had apparently an on-the-spot interview with the manager at Shipley Donuts.
Okay, that's dangerous.
That's what I was going to say. I swear, if she gets a job there,
we're in trouble.
we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it could be exciting. I don't know. They did bring home some donuts this afternoon.
Oh, no.
And I had a chocolate-filled donut.
Hey.
It's like the best chocolate-filled donut is from Shipley.
That's my calories for the day.
I know. Don't worry, I worked it off. I did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and some other calisthenic type stuff. So there you go. Yeah. Hey, Johnny.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you guys? Oh, wait. I
Just told you.
Fine. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? I am fine. Yeah, it's been a busy week. Nothing like what you've had. So I'm fine. today I actually was at school and didn't have any kids there, so that was great.
Huh?
No chance to get bit.
What?
Yeah, no new scars today. Nobody peeing anywhere they shouldn't be. All kinds of good stuff.
Was it like a walkout day at the elementary school, or
We just didn't let them in.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the best thing to do.
Enough is enough.
Yeah.
No. It was a teacher work day kind of thing today, and I just had to be there. So
Cool.
no big deal. It was great because Heather's pretty cool, pretty chill, and she was like, frankly, she goes, I don't even think you guys should have even had to be here today. So I'd much rather have you here on the day after the last day of school to help me move rooms. Right?
Yeah.
But she was pretty. I'm not even monitoring you. So she just gave us some general direction, and I always double check to make sure. I said, "You're cool if I'm working on some other things." She was like. So, out of guilt, I did make sure I did a lot of other stuff too. But I had a first Monday in so long to be able to just go, hey, it's Monday, and I can review, and I can listen through the message from yesterday again. And I can, do a little bit more planning, get a little bit ahead of the game rather than the frantic craziness that has been my life for the past several months. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of nice. So
I'm sorry.
Walked home today. Oh, you haven't?
No, I haven't listened to it yet.
That's okay. We only really went over first 9 too, so.
First two?
First 2.
Yep. That is true.
You walk home.
You need to watch that one though.
I will.
Because there's
I
some
will.
insights I don't want you to not know by next week.
Mondays are typically very busy. Lots of online calls and meetings.
I know all that you've done.
I know.
We talked before the podcast. You're not in trouble.
I was worried.
Woo! But anyway, yeah. No, if you get a chance, it would be great.
Well,
To have a little insight before jumping into verse 3. Can't miss verse 2. Oh, anyway. Well, let's talk about the weekend then, and we'll try to help you fill in some gaps here. A lot of things going on. I was happy to see the people that were there. It was fun to see Ashley's mom and dad were there.
Yeah, that was
Sunday.
Well, awesome.
Yep. And let's see, who else was there? Besides, it's not normally. No, we had a good group of people there Sunday.
Yep.
Sweet.
That's been a consistent thing I've noticed over the past several weeks, and also again the vibe in the room has been really fun. Really, I don't know how to put my finger on it, but it's like this is the greatest thing. I've been in ministry for many, many years, and have always desired church to feel like it's been feeling with our church here.
Awesome.
Lately.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Now, what we want to do is make sure I don't screw that up. Anyway, and that we take this momentum, see what God's doing, and really roll into Easter and into the summer. And I'm kind of praying. I guess I could just say this online. I'm not making promises. We don't really set like big number goals. Like we need to have this many people do this and this many people. Which is not bad necessarily a thing to do, because if you're not too rigid with it, it gives you a direction you're going.
Mm-hmm. Smart goals.
Yeah, smart goals. So we want to see. We were just saying, wouldn't it be great? This would be great if we had a new family join us because of Easter. We don't usually get a big bump at Easter, but maybe this year. And then maybe another in the summer, and then maybe another in the fall.
Yeah.
And if we end up baptizing a couple of people before December, this would have been a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd be really happy with that. Obviously with more too.
Yeah.
But, I would love to see some people, we have a number of people out there on the fringes who, they're on the edge. They're getting closer and closer and closer. So we'll see. And maybe some people who haven't even arrived yet, So anyway, now I'm doing all this talking, but anyway, I enjoyed it yesterday. I thought it was a fun time. What about you guys?
Who played the gong?
Yeah. Nobody
played the gong?
Yeah.
What?
Morey was on the bass though.
Really?
Yeah, he was
Awesome.
on acoustic bass,
Awesome.
and it was just me on it.
Yeah.
But coming soon to a base camp worship gathering near you.
Yeah.
Our man Jake.
I'm gonna play Cajon for him.
Yeah. Yeah, Tracy and I talked. I think Morey wants
Tear
to
it up.
play his bass.
Yep. It's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. We're already talking about the songs and getting that ready, so that's gonna be cool. Probably gonna take to talk to Jaden. I know she has another little one on the way.
Yeah.
But
That's
Thanks,
another
Cam.
way. That's a
We're
good
all
way to
sitting down,
grow a
man.
church. Right?
that's what I told her. That's right. So you guys need to get busy. Growing our church.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm not adding any more numbers to it yet.
Well, Leona would.
Yeah.
We just can't just yet. So
So that's what adoption is for.
yeah, well, see, now you said it, and I was like, come on, man.
Joy and I have thought about that quite a bit actually, in doing it, and fostering and adopting. And
Yeah, it'd be great.
It's just there's energy issues at home, so
Right.
and some health issues, and that's
At the moment, I can't even get a dog. So
exactly.
That look, people, folks that foster and adopt, they're very special people.
Oh,
And
they're-
they have a different calling than I do. Because I don't think I could handle that, right? Especially at this age. But yeah, I'm glad that there are folks out there that are willing to do that. I've got a friend that him and his wife have fostered like 5 kids, or
Fostering is tough, yeah.
adopted like 5 kids. So
it doesn't get much more of a biblical idea than adoption.
yeah, right.
But anyway, we digress.
Yeah. So getting back to your passage, it was
Oh yeah.
Mark 9:2,
Yeah.
chapter 9, verse 2, the Transfiguration.
Yeah.
But not much of it.
Nope. It was the greatest teaser of all time.
Yeah. So one thing I hadn't noticed was in the Synoptic Gospels, which are just Matthew, Mark, and Luke, because John, as you put it, is a whole other thing.
a whole other
I'm really surprised that John. I've been thinking about that recently. John doesn't mention anything about the Transfiguration. So
Well, it is interesting because if you think about, if we talk about the Transfiguration of Jesus happening in the way we've been talking about it, and when you're looking at the Gospel of John, he's talking about various signs, but those signs, Transfiguration, even Peter and those guys said, don't talk about this until after I've resurrected.
that's true.
And so again, it's an audience thing.
Yep.
It's the design of how he's communicating the truth of who Jesus is. But we're not in John yet.
I know.
It's 2030.
That's going to happen. I was going to say a couple of 15, 20 years from now. At least 20 years. We'll get to the Gospels.
But one of your big landing points was kind of similar to last week, with that issue of and some of you will not die before you see the kingdom of. How is it? Kingdom
coming in
power.
Power and glory. Yeah. So, and with that, Matthew and Mark are really almost verbatim the same thing. That 6 days later, this happened, and then Luke goes about 8 days later. And yeah, you get people who tag onto that and go, that's totally a contradiction.
Yeah.
But when you look at the passage, he even writes the rest of it a little differently. So Luke does
little
that.
details.
That passage is very different from what the Matthew and Mark do. And Mark is the way they believe Mark was written was it's basically Peter's sermons directly, just kind of the Cliff Notes versions in a very, very amazing format. And then Matthew tags onto that with his experience and whatnot. And then Luke comes in with his own experience and his investigation into the matters.
He's like Sherlock Holmes.
For his good Theophilus.
Yes.
So yeah, it's again, each one's doing a different audience, but it's fun to watch how those things move about, and how you can go, no, it's not a contradiction.
Yeah, no, not at all. And that's why, and again, that's why that's why I went to all that trouble, right?
Yeah, exactly.
to show how it's not in any way, even the 6 and or the around 8 days. And it's hard to do it again. I don't think I'll. But it's like, if you say, I won't do that whole illustration again, but I mean, it works as 6 days, and it also works as 8 days, depending on if you're talking about the day it's happening, the partial day, and the day you're telling about it, the day after, those kind of bookend kind of deals. And again, there's still a whole lot of license in what he's describing, simply because he says about 8 days.
Yeah, it's the same.
So it's around 6, 7 days, about a week, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
So, yeah, it's very important.
Well, so whenever I think about things like that, where somebody says 6 days, somebody says 8 days, but the accounting of the event is the same, I wonder, is that what you're thinking as a discrepancy? Is it really that important to the overall thing? I mean,
the case can certainly be made, particularly because we do want to say that the scripture itself is 100% true, reliable, accurate. God himself, has guided that process. So you don't want it to be too wobbly. You know what I mean?
Well,
so I mean, if it's like, somebody says, and so the guy came in a red coat, and then the other is like, but he was wearing a green coat, and then the other guy said it was a blue coat. Well, what was it? What is this? Is this truth? Or?
Yeah, but I think there's more like he was wearing a red coat, and somebody else says there were blue pants. It's a contradiction.
It is that kind of thing.
Anyway.
Yeah, but then if they both say, he fed 5,000 people. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, why does the color of the coat matter?
Right.
Because if the account of the true miracle is accurate through all the stories or all the gospels, then some of those details.
He was colorblind.
So we did this is something you mentioned on yesterday as well. That kind of goes along with what we've been talking about. But so we did in high school, it was like a writing experiment. So our teacher at the beginning of class was standing out there talking, whatever, and had another teacher come in and like throw a book across the room and then leave. Yell something and leave. And then our teacher stopped and said, for the next 5 minutes, everybody's going to write down exactly what just happened. And we, 20 of us, we all literally just witnessed it. It's fresh in our brain. And there were 20 different stories written. Because people pick up different little bits and pieces of that. Oh, they were wearing this. Oh, they said that. Oh, they were looking at this person. It's all little different perceptions that you have.
Yeah. And when it comes to that kind of testimony, if everybody had the exact same story, that's called not corroboration, it's collaboration.
Right.
So
It's exactly the same.
It's exactly the same. And there are so many differences, but not differences that are discrepancies. Again, it's that different, as you put it, different camera angle for each of them.
Right.
So, and eyewitness, it's the greatest thing and the worst thing about eyewitness testimony. So, but with the Bible, we've got another.
I was gonna say the other mix on that is as opposed to just like witness testimony, which could be completely inaccurate based on someone's perception. With the Gospels, we're seeing God himself working through, bringing about what has happened and it being so. And that is the dynamic that is slightly different, even from the illustration I was using, that it's like if I saw the book come through, and when that happened, people do imagine certain things. I thought I heard a big sound. As soon as the book hit, I heard something outside crash.
Right.
Well, maybe they didn't. It was the echo of the book. Well, that testimony would be invalid. Right. And so that's the difference about those Gospels, is that they do have to have some wording. But what I'm trying to say about it is that we don't always see it right away. It's like the same thing with the feeding of the 5,000. One testimony says it happens, in spring. Another doesn't say it's happening in spring. It just says everybody sat down on the green grass. Which would have been in spring. And so, so you can begin to kind of line them up in that way. But it's also kind of nice, and I know sometimes I will, like in this instance, also I'll go, the other gospel says this, the other gospel. But it's also, I'm trying really hard to just stay as much in Mark as I can, with just highlights for here and there from the others, understanding that it is the Gospel of Mark given to us in a certain way, and it's important we understand why it's given to us in this way. That it is important that we're showing that Jesus moved a lot and did this and went there, and their action words. Because, just taking it as it those original people read it as well. There's some power in that as well. And then when you look at the others, you definitely don't want to just ignore anything that might have sounds a little different, but instead you can just again bring it into harmony with the grand thing. I do lean more into that. I do think some of those details we don't. If they're really wildly wrong, it does cause a little bit of a.
Mm-hmm.
But general rule. This is always my general rule with Scripture. Give God the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Don't just be looking. Usually it's because we need to do more digging. We need to do more study. We need to look and see what's going on. And then suddenly things come into light that we didn't see before.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I guess part of my point on that too is to not have that knee-jerk reaction, because there are those who are just looking for any little thing. Mm-hmm. And I said this in the podcast last time, and I also said it on Sunday about. You have all of this. You see this one thing, and rather than going, okay, this doesn't make sense, but I know it does. I just am missing it. God, help me understand it.
Right.
And even if I never understand it fully in this life, it's still not enough to sway me from all of this.
Right.
But I always lean into this is completely accurate. It's accurate in all of its formats, and I know that you can. You can get into a couple of little, was this an error, or is this a number right?
Yeah.
I even land, even though when there's a discrepancy in some numbers or a number of armies, that there's still something that we're missing. That's how much I want to give God the benefit of the doubt in those kinds of things. But anyway, that took us farther where I was talking before. But that was the first thing. That in Mark and in Luke, Mark and in Matthew, it says 6 days later, and in Luke he says about 8 days later. So we spent a little time on that, just like we are now.
Then the second part of that is he only takes up Peter, James, and John, and on that one, it's always I feel for James because he doesn't get to see all the good stuff, except he's up in heaven early. He's the first of the apostles that's martyred. Mentioned shortly after Stephen stoned.
Stephen!
Stephen! That's Morey's input for today.
That's totally waiting for him to yell Stephen.
And some people, we don't want to confuse James, the brother of Jesus, as being the guy. Although James also ultimately was martyred, but he's not the first of the disciples. Actually, he wasn't even an apostle. He became a believer after the resurrection, actually. But anyway.
Yeah, so, but James, Peter, and John go up there, and you haven't even gotten to the great part. Let's build them shelters. Sorry. It's Peter being Peter.
Right.
But
we're gonna.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. Let's build them shelters. Yep. There's a lot in that. I'm not even sure we're going to get through it all next week. I hope we do. That, and by all of it, I just simply mean that
passage.
Yeah. Not the chapter. We're not getting through the chapter.
That's not happening. That one verse or that half a verse?
Verse 3.
Verse 3 maybe?
Fortunately, verse 3 is not going to hopefully. But those are things I felt like they were really important to share. We did get to he was transfigured before them. And again, I love that word. And that is another difference. Speaking of.
Metamorphose. Or metamorpho.
Metamorphose. Where we get metamorphosis. And again, we'll talk more about this next week. And that's why I only teased it a little bit with that. Except to say, it is interesting, speaking of differences, and there is a reason why. The word that is used by Matthew and the word that is used by Mark is very consistent. It is that metamorphose. But the other word that is used by Dr. Luke...
Yeah, it was altered? Is that the one?
I can't remember how to say it. But it's a different... two Greek words that describe it differently than metamorphosis. The metamorphosis idea might have been too aligned with a lot of the pagan metamorphoses into gods. The pagan gods did their metamorphosis, and so he just basically described a change. He changed before them. He changed how he looked. So it's a it's a very fine point, but it's just a slightly different word that probably communicated better to not throw off people who are so used to these various pagan gods and things. So kind of interesting. But the amazing thing about this, and there's so much about it that is pretty crazy and and very cool, I should say, is that he literally does. It's like, all right, I'll give you guys I'll throw you a bone for this.
Spoiler alert, right?
It is a miraculous revealing of Jesus' glory, the glory of God. And the biggest miracle about that is not that he revealed his glory, it's that he contained his glory all the rest of the time. All right, so look for that. So look for that on Sunday. Some version of that is, hopefully I will get to that on Sunday. But here's the only thing that might cause a problem for us is that this Sunday is Lord's Supper.
Yep.
And I gotta allow some time for that to do that properly and do that well. So that might be the only thing that might cut into us talking about this.
Okay. Sorry. You're boring, Johnny.
And Easter is 2 weeks from now, so we got this Sunday is going to be great. I'm looking forward to this Sunday. And then the following Sunday is Easter, and weather permitting. It's not snowing, hopefully.
Yeah.
We're doing it outside?
No, we're going outside.
Oh, we're going outside after. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to grill burgers.
Yes.
Maybe hot dogs, I don't know.
The weather forecast for this Sunday is almost church in the park weather. So.
This Sunday? Just hoping the next week is the same.
That's the way the pattern has kind of been, and getting a little better on Sunday every week. So
We're going to pull out the balloons. Cool. We're going to be doing an egg hunt, at least for our kids and anybody else who comes. I'm not expecting a giant crowd for that, but we are preparing plenty of eggs and stuff. And then may have this podcast, I can say whatever, it doesn't matter, right?
it's not like it's recorded or anything.
Oh yeah, that's right. Internet. This might be fact checked later whether we did what I'm saying we're going to do or not. I'll edit it out later.
All right.
So yeah. What we want to do is I did this thing years ago in a church planning situation where it was sort of let's just do it was almost like a Hail Mary last ditch deal in our church planning to our neighborhood. And we just went and invited this one neighborhood to join us at their park that was part of their HOA and everything for what we called a retro family picnic. And it was just literally called a retro family picnic. And so we had hot dogs, we had lemonade, we had three-legged race. We had, just like all old school stuff. Like the sack race,
nice.
Run with it, an egg on a spoon race.
Yard darts.
Yeah, we did Simon Says as a group, and then we had a bunch of yard game type things like that we just had scattered out.
Nice.
And we were shocked by how many people showed up because it's such a contrast to what we normally do.
Yeah.
And so there were a few families that were like, something we could all do. Let's go check that out. And so, in fact, it blew us away. And again, this was years and years ago, and it was like a last-ditch effort to try and reach people.
Yeah.
And we didn't even hardly have any info about our church to give out to people. we were so surprised that so many people showed up. So anyway, we may do some of that kind of thing on Sunday, but then we'll do a real one maybe before the summer's up.
Yeah, sounds right.
Retro family. You're trying to tell me that we're out of time.
We are.
Whoa.
And we're on a click.
We're out.
It hadn't started flashing yet.
Well, anything else quickly before we hit our final words? Anything about the weekend? Anything else funny? Kids were always hilarious.
Need some sleep.
I'm telling you, it's like Lord of the Rings, where they're waiting, and and the goblins and the cave troll, all those guys are coming. They're waiting, and they come. That's the kids coming in.
You said something about this Sons of Thunder, James and John, that struck me. Maybe Zebedee was the thunder.
Brought the thunder.
We don't know much about him, just that he was a fisher dude. So
Fisher dude. Yep.
3 minutes.
Okay. 3 minutes and counting.
That was my last observation.
Anything else, Jake?
No, I think we're all good.
All right, well, we meet somewhere in the world every week, but always online, and you can find us on Facebook at Compass Church Colorado. You can also discover more at compassdenver.com, and we would love to have you as our guest at Arkansas Elementary or online this Sunday at 10 a.m. All right, guys, final words. That's what
Love you guys. Love everyone out there.
Likewise.
This has been great.
Pick their eyeballs out.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him will not perish, but have eternal life.
Yeah, man. The greatest mask of all time. Grace and peace to you. That is all we have for tonight, and we are out. So long, guys. We're out. Bonk, 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 snore. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Z, 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 Z.